Late Night here. Today we are going to talk about the Dragon Rulers. So basically, the Dragon Rulers got hit on the last banner list, and I don't really see Konami bringing them back anytime soon, at least not with their current effect, which would also really be annoying considering the fact that Red Eyes Black Fire Dragon is a really annoying card to deal with, especially if you can bring it out consistently without going minus. And there might be some strange Red Eyes Dragon Ruler builds that might pop up, but let's talk about why they are so problematic. First of all, you can make a lot of free pluses off of the Dragon Rulers. For example, you banish 2 Dragon Rulers out of the graveyard, especially from the third one from the graveyard. You're basically making triggering both of their effects of the banished ones, basically making +3. So basically, Dragon Ruler doesn't really care about the usual card resource system. Also, when you cards like Gold Sark make, okay, that doesn't make plus until like 2 turns later, but 7 Swords of the Sacred Stars and stuff like that is making plus, which cards that shouldn't make plus are making plus in the deck. And when they were strong, they were that ridiculous stuff with super rejuvenation. Also, they are really big beaters for especially when you're taking consideration that you basically didn't really use up resources to summon them, and they have access to the rank 7 Xyz pool, which is really strong. Dracosac was like one of the best Xyz when it came out, and Big Eye, really annoying card to deal with. We all were probably in the format where Snatch was legal, and you know now why Big Eye is such a big problem, even if you weren't there when Dragon Rulers were running rampant. Also, they're very versatile in what they're doing, and especially with the Baby Rulers, you have so many options to play, which kind of made the mirror match very complex, and you usually won when you're the better player, but still, it's not really a format that we were fond of, especially if you were not playing Dragon Rulers and loved mirror matches or playing it spellbook. So, in order to solve the problem of the Dragon Rulers being way too powerful, I came up with the idea that the Dragon Rulers should focus more on their attribute specific part and less on the synergy with other dragons, because the synergy with other dragons kind of makes them working as a deck, which I think was not really necessary. The support for other decks is like amazing. Like when you're playing Tempest and Ritual Beast, it's so good, and Tile obviously in Mermail, and even Blaster and Inferno, it was really good because it gave you so many options to work around the level restriction, because it basically is an Infernoid, which kinda works around the level restriction because it doesn't have one, which helped you make more Exceed plays and was really good. Also, Redox was good in some kind of deck, perhaps with Machina, because it's kinda good with Machina Fortress, but that one didn't have that much impact, despite it being really good in rogue decks like Scrap. So you might think it would be the easiest thing to do would be taking away the option to banish dragons in order to summon them. Just say Redox, banish 2 earth monsters from your hand or graveyard to special summon this card. Would be an option, but I think it's a bit drastic. The concept of the Dragon Ruler deck is kind of interesting, and it's really fun to play around with, but it is so flexible, and if you can take something of that away, it might still work when you have to banish 1 Dragon monster and 1 fire monster with a blaster, or 2 fire monsters. So you have to at least take one of the specific attribute, which kind of makes it way more fair, because you don't have every option that you had before, and it caters more towards fire decks. But you can if you have a deck with like 2 attributes, it does work really well because the two dragon rulers that you're probably then playing support each other and helps the deck. And it's not that unhealthy that you just play Dark Matter Ruler and OTK like crazy, because decks like that wouldn't work then, because you would need specific elements that you wouldn't have. You would have to rely on other engines, and you wouldn't be that OTK-ish if you would rely on that engines. So if you take that option and turn it into a card effect, here's for example the card effect of Blaster. I'm not going to show anyone because the only difference is the attribute that is mentioning, and I think all of you are smart enough to change that attribute to the specific dragon ruler. So this time I marked a different card effect. I didn't do it with in my discussion to Pot of Greed, because basically the only thing that was same was that draw 2 cards. It's 3 words, and the rest of the really large card text would change. So it was really a different card text, but and especially since the card effect of the Dragon Rulers is so big, highlighting the part that is changed is something that should be taken into should help you find a card text here for sooner. If this card is in your hand or in graveyard, you can banish 2 fire monsters or 1 dragon type and 1 fire monster from your hand or graveyard. Expect this card special on this card. I think in that way the effect does work way better and is way healthier for the game and not as broken. You might, I'm not sure whether or not someone would find a way to play dragon rulers despite the restriction, but it would at least not be as powerful and have all the options, because you cannot banish 2 dragon to get through 2 dragon rulers effect when you special summon another one, because they don't have all the same attribute. You can obviously banish a blaster to summon a blaster, but that blaster is not going to get an effect because you already used the effect of a blaster. So basically that's in my opinion the best solution for the dragon rulers. They're not as broken as some other cards on the ban list, so a small little change like that should balance them out, in my opinion. But feel free to disagree with me in the comments, and be sure to tune in next time when we talk about the most broken spellbook card of all time, Spellbook of Judgment. Yu-Gi-Oh! Blade Knight signing.